my posse. Hello, all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for coming to my living room today and sitting around with me. As promised, we're going to go on a journey. A 65-year journey on how I got to have this skin, and not just my skin, but my whole beauty journey for 65 years. So I am so glad you came. I see you out there. Hi, Helen. Hi, Diane. Hi, Bev. Hi, Dolores. Hi, my three Marys. I love you guys. Hi, Sheila. So nice to see you sitting around here. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so excited that you're excited to hear about my journey. Well, let me tell you, this has been some journey. So if you're interested in how I discovered, so to speak, myself, stay tuned. You don't want to miss this, right? Let's go. So first I want to tell you, I was tagged in this video before I was going to Nashville by jdee. jdee tagged me to do this journey. I think, she didn't realize it was going to be 65 years. Well, maybe she did. I don't know. But thank you, jdee, for tagging me. It took me a little while to come back from, my trip and get settled in. So for those of you who don't know jdee, she's a lot of fun. I'm going to link her journey in my description box, and so you can go take a look at hers. So because of her, I'm doing this 65-year journey with you. So yeah, I want to get this show on the road. I'm nervous to do this. Well, I'm not nervous to do this, but it's like I didn't make any notes, and most of the time when I do videos, I don't make notes, and probably that's why I'm so long-winded, because if I made notes like grocery shopping, I'd stick to my notes, and I never do. So I always go over my grocery budget, and I always go over my minutes. But I'm going to try to pick my brain and see and tell you how I got started, and how I got to be 77 and still taking care of my skin. So let's get the show on the road. So I think I really think I started really heavy with, not heavy with makeup, but I started my journey, I think, at about 15 years old. When I was probably 13 or so, I think I told you I was a chubby kid, really chubby, and never, did much to myself. I don't think back then we really paid much attention to us as kids, how we looked, except I knew I was chubby, and I got made fun of a lot, especially by one teacher in my elementary school who, oh boy, she was so mean to me. But anyway, after I left elementary school that summer, I lost a lot of weight, and I was really excited to go back to school thin. And I think always as a kid, you kind of always look at your mom, subliminally. You don't even pay attention to it. But I think somewhere along the line, you kind of look at your mom, what she does, how she fixes her face, what she wears. You just kind of pay attention to those things growing up without even knowing that you're paying attention to them. And I just remember my mom always putting Jergens lotion on her face or Pond's cold cream on her face. And I just was kind of like storing that in the back of my head, And I remember she always looked good. I mean, I thought she was a very attractive woman anyway. And so does a lot of people. She always just took care of her stuff. She took pride in herself. She was clean. She dressed really well for those days. I think I showed you in some of my videos, some of her clothes. So I was like home that summer. I remember watching my mom putting her makeup on, putting her stuff on. And the first thing I was watching is when she put on her blush. And I remember thinking like, wow, she put on blush on her cheeks, and she always used Revlon, and it was a certain color that she wore until she passed, and she was 90 when she passed, I swear. I think they still made that color. I don't know if they make it anymore, but I think she stocked, I think, piles of it in case they would discontinue it. But I remember her this day putting her Jergens lotion on, putting her foundation on, always wore Revlon Touch and Glow Rose Beige foundation. Remember her putting that on, but the blush, was the kicker. I mean, she put that on and like her eyes sparkled, her eyes looked brighter, her whole skin tone changed. And I thought, wow, that's pretty good. So I kind of like picked up on, you know, the foundation part and the blush part. And she always did her eyes. She never did like the eyeshadows that they do today, the whole tutorials. I mean, my mom used the Revlon, the Maybelline red little pencil. And she always just kind of went in her eye crack of her eyelid and darkened it so her eyes just, I mean, they had a really nice shape to them. She had kind of big round eyes. So I remember that. So I remember going back to school in September, and I was really excited to go back because I had, you know, foundation I found and blush. I was like, wow. And I remember going to school the first day with some foundation on and some blush, and the boys were really paying attention to me, and I was like, well, it's the blush. I mean, look at me, I'm popping, you know. So that was my introduction to blush, and to this day, you know, girls, I love my blush. I don't know, I just think that the color on your cheeks brings out your sparkle in your eye, and just, I don't know, it just brightens you. I mean, I can go out with just, like I said, concealer and blush on, and I'm fine. But that was my introduction, I think, at like 15, 16. And then I just kind of started to use the Maybelline eye pencil, and, you know, I got into lipsticks, and I never was big on a lot of lipsticks. And I always from a young age was kind of watching people and as they looked when I would go out or something, excuse me. And I noticed that people that wore a lot of eye makeup and dark lipstick, it was just I remember even thinking like, that's not a really good look. So I kind of like, as I got older, started to realize that if you're going to do up your eyes, and I still believe this to this day, if you're going to do up your eyes, then do a lighter lipstick. If you want to play down your eyes a little bit, not so dark or whatever, then wear a brighter lipstick, but not both together. And especially when you're older, it's harder. You look just harder to me. So I always played it one or the other. So I was never like a really big lipstick person, but I did get into, you know, mascara, and I did use the red eyeliner on my just on my eyelids on the top. And so that was kind of like my beauty journey. And I looked at an awful lot of glamour magazines, and I always wanted to like emulate how the stars looked, and I watched their techniques on eye makeup and stuff. And I think just through the years, you know, as a kid, you just pick up little things here and there. You register them someplace, and when you're old enough, you know, you kind of put them all together. And I just always remember reading an article on a star once, and of course I followed Doris Day in my magazines. I remember even at a very young age getting glamour magazines, reading glamour magazines, and looking at Doris Day and crying because I wanted to meet her so bad. I mean, I just loved that girl. I mean, she was like the girl next door, and I watched her makeup. She was always kind of like a soft look, but a beautiful look. And I thought, oh gosh, if I could just have my hair blonde and I could look like that, you know. So I started with Doris Day and following her, and just following, I think, fashions and hair, and reading articles. And I read something, one of the stars had said something about how she massaged her face, and, you know, how she did, you know, took care of her skin. And I remember reading articles about, you know, taking care of your skin. And like I say, this all, you know, as you're young, it all kind of builds up until you actually kind of put it all together. And I felt like I was looking better. And it's sad to say, because I was a chubby kid. I had dark circles under my eyes, and I had a lot of hair on my lip. I was always so embarrassed about the hair on my lip. I had a mustache, and one of my cousins, we were sitting at the dinner table in front of everybody. He said, "Can I have some bread, Uncle Babs?" And I was like, "Uncle Babs?" He called me Uncle Babs because I had a mustache. And I remember crying. I was like 12 or 13, crying to my mom. And she goes, "Oh, don't pay no attention to it," you know. But I thought, oh my gosh, it was so awful. And I remember getting together with my girlfriend, We were probably then now 14, and I still had this like hair here, and I was like, this has got to go. So we used to get together in high school and or junior high, whatever it was then, and we used to have what we called a pee-eyed party, and a pee-eyed party was a peroxide party, and we would get together and mix bleach and peroxide, and we would peroxide and bleach all the hair on our arms and all the hair on our faces and our mustaches. And I mean, we went to town. We would do it all the time. And then we got into, but you know, I had all this white hair up here, this blonde hair. It was just, you know, I looked like a feminine Uncle Babs. I was like, no, this has got to go. So then we got into like waxing parties. Like when I was about 16 or so, we would all get together and we would put this wax on it and rip it off and scream bloody murder. And we started taking the hair off, you know, our face and our upper lip. And so then I started, okay, so the stash has got to go. The hair on the arms has got to go. So it's all fallacy about if you start shaving that it's going to grow in thick like a gorilla. It's not true, girls. I'm 77. I've been doing it for a lot of years. And my arms too. I hate hairy arms. And my hair was really dark, so ripped it off. Now I just take my handy little razor, which I'll show you in my workhorse video, and I just take it off. It's just easy. But we started to do, you know, that in high school. And I think as, you know, we got into high school and graduated from high school, you know, we were starting to pick up some things. But I remember from back then always kind of being consistent. And I didn't wash my face at night either. I just didn't. I didn't care to. I mean, I figured I'd put the cream on my face in the morning, the Jergens lotion, the Pond's lotion, the Neutrogena, whatever was out. I did my face really good. I mean, didn't play in the dirt, so I wasn't too worried about it. So I hadn't washed my face in it. And I don't think my mom ever did either. So again, emulating what my mom did, she never washed her face at night either. And she had beautiful skin, really pretty skin. Until the day she passed, she had really pretty skin. And I never remember her washing her face at night. I'm sorry, girls. So I was 20 when I got pregnant with my first child. So I was married, of course, not in that order, but I was married and I had my first baby. And I remember, you know, really wanting to look good for my husband, and I would, you know, then I got into like the really long lash mascara, got into some new moisturizers for my face. I can't even remember back then. I was a big Pond's cold cream girl back then, but always did it, and always just sat there watching TV. And sometimes I'd rock the baby in the, you know, morning, and I'd be massaging my face. I just always remember doing that. And at some point in my late 20s, I thought, well, my skin doesn't look too bad, so I must have been doing something right. But I never really did anything spectacular. I mean, I can't sit here and say, hey girls, I use blah blah, and I mean to tell you, this is why I look so good. I think was just always a consistency with me, always. And then of course I was like 25 or 26, I decided to go to beauty school. I went to beauty school and got my license, and I always wanted to help people become more beautiful, because as a child growing up, I was so self-conscious of my weight. I was self-conscious really of my looks, and it was a bad thing and a good thing, because truthfully, I think when you're a little bit more on the self-conscious side, you concentrate more. This is going to sound really dumb to you, but I think you concentrate more on your personality, because you're trying to find something that makes you stand out in a crowd, because you're not comfortable with your weight, you're not comfortable with your look, so you want to stand out. So I became the class, you know, comedian, and I was just a comedian my whole life. I just turned things into funny things and made people laugh, made people like to be around me, and they didn't care how I looked. But I was always self-conscious. So when I blossomed and I started doing my makeup, and people started to notice, men started to notice, guys started to notice, you know, even women would compliment me on my skin or my hair. I felt good about myself. I always felt good about myself inside. I never, even as a young kid. And I think that was the way I was raised, because I was raised with a lot of love and attention. So I always felt good about myself inside. I knew that I was a good person, but I just didn't feel confident, like I was pretty enough or good enough to fit in. But I was funny. I was funny. I could walk in a room and make a bunch of people laugh, and that was good for me. And then I ended up having both. I was cute funny. That worked out, you know. So I decided to go into hair to help other people be the best that they can be. I got into beauty. I did makeup in the beauty salon. I turned people's lives around from being plain to being beautiful, to just to show people, you know, that it helps. It was like a confidence booster. I think when you look in the mirror and you look pretty and you feel good about yourself, it brings out the person that you always were inside. But sometimes, you know, you walk around like this, you know, because you're insecure, but you're really a great person. But and it's sad that looks do that, but unfortunately they do. So I got into beauty, then I got into, you know, doing, I told you, wigs for cancer patients, which was, I knew a lady very young, in her 30s, who passed away from cancer back then, and she was one of my good friends, and very young. I think she had breast cancer at that young of an age, I know. But I remember getting her a wig, and wigs were not that great then, and we were playing around with her wig, and I did her wig. And then I got into, like, I really want to help people in the salon business, and I got into doing wigs for cancer patients, and, you know, they weren't nowhere near as nice as they are today. That just started my, you know, watching other people and me making up other people and doing beauty to other people just made me more conscious of fixing myself up when I saw how beautiful they look. And I've did some people that were just never took care of themselves, even in their 40s and 50s. You know, I had told you I got into Mary Kay, and I sold Mary Kay Cosmetics for a while. And I couldn't really push them that much back then because I was allergic to a lot of their stuff. I'm sure their products have changed tremendously over the years, but back then I was like super allergic. I did a lot of transitioning of people's faces with Mary Kay. I told that story about that one woman who was right before our eyes. She was like a smoker and a drinker and had wrinkles on her face, and I sat her down, and nobody wanted to be at this Mary Kay party, and I sat her down, and we all had our little trays, and we were all doing this, and her name was Kay, I believe, and everybody was kind of like watching her as she was doing her makeup, Mary Kay had some beautiful emollient face creams, I'll tell you. I'm sure they still do today. But I was putting these on her. I was putting toners on her. We were cleaning out pores. We did the whole thing in Mary Kay. And by the end of the show, people were just staring at her. She looked like, I say show because to me it was a show. She was like transformed before everybody's eyes. I'm telling you, it was the most I've sold ever in Mary Kay at that party. It was like there was 15 girls there. I never sold so much Mary Kay in my life because she just was beautiful. And she became my really good friend and one of my best customers. And always from that day, she quit smoking because she had the smoker lines. She realized that taking care of your skin on a consistent basis changed her whole life. She got married like at 46, 47 years old, and I think they moved to Florida or something. And she was always so grateful, you know, that I showed her how to be a better person. It was just my job in Mary Kay. And I think, you know, just learning all that made me think, you know, you're never too old. Now, you might be watching this now and think, oh God, yeah, she's had 65 years to fix herself up. Well, yeah, but you know, if you go back and look at some of my videos that I've done, I've always had, you know, really nice skin because I've always been consistent with no matter what I use. I don't have a magic product for you girls that I can say that I did, but I followed things gradually and I did them consistently from such a young age. I don't know, and I still am to this day. I am so consistent with my routines. It never has changed, never. And I think, like I said, going back looking at my videos, I think my skin was always great. But the products that I'm using now, and I've talked about them before, my Ella Freda, I'll plug it again, and I always have that link in my description box. I've only used this product for probably 6 months, maybe a year now. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look. And I don't think my skin for 77 has ever looked this good. So you're never, ever, don't think that, you're watching this and you're watching my 65-year journey for my face, that, oh, it's too late for you, because you're never too old to try a good skin product, but you got to be consistent. You gotta be consistent. And I think my consistency has just paid off through the years. I've just always have. And like I say, I just started this new routine of my Ella Freda, which I'll talk all about it in my workhorse video. But I think that because I do it every day, I do it diligently. My face is in such balance today. It's just, I'm amazed at myself. My husband even goes like, "God, your skin looks good even without makeup. Why do you put makeup on?" Because I have to have my blush. Come on now. So I think through the years, I think consistency has always been my thing. I think being in the beauty industry, being a stylist, being, taking care of patients, I've gone into nursing homes, and I used to do, take my show on the road, so to speak, and I'd go in and I'd just do their hair, but then I'd say, let me see your makeup, and they'd be sitting there and I would do their makeup, and they were so grateful. They were like, people are shocked. I think it's the thing with me, like through the years, is I was shocked at how shocked people were that they could look so good. That was like mind-blowing to me. Like they were actually shocked that they could look so good. I was amazed by that, because just a little bit of taking care of your canvas, a little bit of foundation brings out the personality that you always had. Now, isn't that sad to say? But it's true. I think it just radiates your confidence more, and it brings you to enjoy us women of a certain age. Hi, Karen. And I think that it's just something that you just need to do for yourself. And it's never, ever, ever too late to start. I mean, you might be looking in the mirror thinking, oh, it's too late. I got bags, I got wrinkles, no, it's never too late. There's always hope if you're consistent, and you have to be consistent. I don't care if you're 80 or 90 and you think your skin looks bad, or you smoked, or you laid out in the sun, or you took after your mother for this, or you did, you can change it. I mean, you can help yourself be the best that you can be. And I think your journey through life, no matter what your journey has been, you can fix yourself. And I have not had any facelifts, and we've talked about that. I have had Botox, and I hate my number 11s, and I may get those done. And I don't think it's vanity thing for these number 11s. I think it's just expression wise. I'm a kind of a happy person, upbeat person. I kind of enjoy my life every day, because you got to. And I think it kind of makes me frown, and I'm not a frowner. And for that reason, I think I would do it. As far as fillers and things goes, man, I think the thing that's hurt a lot of us women through the years, and I've watched my own skin face and my own structure of my face change. And they always say, like, every 7 years you change. Your body weight changes, your face changes, the contour of your face changes, your eyes change, your ears even get big when you're older. Go figure. I mean, I could have 22 pierced ears up my ears now because my ears got bigger. So I think every 7 years we go through some kind of change, and we watch our face structure change. I look back at my younger pictures, excuse me, I had a fuller face, and when you're older, you want to try to recapture that face, and you can't really do it with fillers, because I think the problem with fillers is, and I just read an article on a doctor who was starting to refuse to do fillers on certain women because it was just changing the whole contour of your face. And I don't want to change my looks. I'm not saying I don't believe in them, because I do believe in fillers, but I think if you could find a doctor who would inject you with just a little bit, like even in here, or if you have crow's feet, and not the whole vial. They stick the whole vial in you, and you end up with this puff look in your cheeks. I mean, I never had high cheekbones, so why would I want to Why would I want to fill them now? I mean, if that's your thing, that's fine. I don't object to any of that. But I think it's just too much. And the doctors sell you on vials, and you can't say, can I have a half a vial? You know, like you go to buy, you can buy a gallon of milk, you can buy a quart of milk, but you can't buy smaller injections of Juvederm or that. I mean, I think if you could get a little bit and maybe go more often, if that's your choice, I think it would help fill out some fine lines and wrinkles, not plump your face up. I mean, come on, some of the movie stars are unrecognizable today, and I don't think fillers are the answers. And I think one of the things that I've always done through my journey of life too is maintained, because I was I don't want to say fat child, I was a chubby child. I was always conscious of my weight, so I don't think at any one point I was ever like heavy. When I was pregnant, yeah, I gained weight, but I was quick to lose it. So I think, you know, when we're women, we gain weight, you lose weight, you gain weight, you lose weight, and I think it just sags your skin more. I mean, our skin just kind of sags. It's like people that lose a lot of weight, they have all this extra skin because their skin is so stretched. And I think too with fillers, that's an issue that I'm afraid of, because they put the fillers in, and when the filler's gone, it's gonna plump this up and then it's gonna sag. I told you I had collagen when I had Bell's palsy, and you can see the sags from when the skin stretched on this side when I had the Bell's palsy, and I had those injections for that to try to balance me out because my Bell's palsy was so bad. But I don't want anything to stretch me out, and you know, then it goes away, and then I'm left with these, you know, these jowls and stuff. But I think if you maintain a certain weight, and you know, when you're older, you can't, you know, lose. I fight 5, 8, 10 pounds here and there, but I think I watch my face, and I can tell when I gain, my eyes get puffy, my jowls get a little too full. So if you maintain a good weight for your age, and you know, when you're older too, you know, you can't lose a whole lot of weight because it just goes to your face. I mean, if we could sit there and say, okay, wait, go to my butt. Yeah, I want to lose my butt. Or if the girls are too big, you know, like, let's go to the girls and let's lose the weight. No, the first place it goes, our face. It's our first place that it goes when we lose weight, our face. And when we're older, losing too much weight can really age us. So it isn't necessarily, you know, losing weight, oh, I'll lose 20 pounds, I'll feel great. You might, you know, look good, but when you get to a certain age, you've got to watch, you know, you're your best judge when you look in the mirror, how your face is. And that's the first place it goes. And I think through my journey, you know, I've watched my mom too always maintain a good weight. My sister always maintained a really good weight. I think, and I've watched, you know, people through the years in my family even, you know, just maintain a good weight. I've had some in my family who got really, really obese and, you know, then lost a lot of weight, and boy, their face, it was the first place that showed it. So I think if you maintain a good weight, I think with your face, and you watch it, you maintain a good massaging technique, I think, you know, you'll be fine. And like I say, it's never too late to start. And I think my journey to, one of the things that I can remember in high school, we had, I think one of my teachers' sisters it was either Miss Michigan or Miss America she was at one time. And she came to the high school and she talked to us. And that was when I'm backtracking, I know. But I think that's when I was about 16 or 17, I think. It was a home ed class. And she came in, and her purpose to come in was talk to us about hygiene and sexual things and pregnancies and our periods and you know, beauty. And she just came in to chat with us. And I remember her talking about, you know, girls, you got to take care of your body. You've got to be clean. You know, I don't care how pretty you are. If you stink, nobody's going to look at you. She was really kind of funny. And I was like thinking, oh gosh, you know, but she was trying to tell us about hygiene, and that you can be the best you can be on the outside of it, but if you don't clean your armpits and other pits, you know, you could look good, but you know, nobody's gonna want to pass you up, you know. So, and she was like talking in depth about that, and she was talking about, I remember her talking about her weight and keeping your weight in balance for your face. And we had asked her once, this is true now, we had asked her how she got that sunken look, because back, you know, they always had that sunken look, you know, these models and actresses and stuff. And she told us that when she was in this pageant, they wanted her, one of the judges wanted her to have her back teeth pulled because her face was too chubby. And by having her back teeth all pulled, it made her more like that. And it was true. And she showed us she had no back teeth. So I went home to my mom and I said, I want my back teeth pulled. And because I still had kind of a full face. And she goes, what do you mean you want your back teeth pulled? I said, oh yeah, I got my teeth, I forgot to tell you, my teeth really hurt. I need my back teeth pulled. And I remember like 6 months later, she took me to the dentist and my dentist pulled my back teeth. I mean, I'm not kidding you. He did. He pulled my back teeth. And I was like walking around like, hey. I was like, I mean, it wasn't so good when I got older and I had to replace my back teeth for chewing purposes, but that was the thing. And she said one of the judges had told her that. So of course, you know, I jumped on that one, but not a smart move. But, you know, she was really insightful. And she talked about makeup and not overdoing it. And she talked about a lot of things then as a 17-year-old kid you don't think about, but you kind of register those and you take them with you through your journey of life, and you end up doing them when you're older. And like I say, if I give you any advice, just, you know, stick with something that you like, be consistent with it, and, you know, always know that you're beautiful on the inside and you can be beautiful on the outside too. It kind of like, it's like I said before, it's kind of repeat and repeat. But when you look good, you feel good. And that's even during this pandemic. I'm telling you, there were days when you wanted to just stay in your sweats and you wanted to do this. But you know what? I got up, even as sick as I was, I got dressed, I put my wig on, I put my makeup on, and it made me feel better about myself. And I can go out, I can get up in the morning, shower, put my makeup on, and we don't go anywhere. I telling my husband, we should go to Kroger's or something. I mean, I'm all dressed up. Who's going to see me? But it doesn't matter. I do it for myself. And I think I always have done that for myself. I've taken care of myself, for myself first. And then, you know, when other people started to notice, that was even a bonus. So I'm sorry this was over. This is long, I know. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And my journey has been a good one. And like I say, I don't have any special things. I haven't done retin A. I haven't done anything special to my face except moisturize it and take care of it, and get rest, drink water, and I mainly stayed happy. And I maintained a good sense of humor. I maintained happiness through my life. I had a great family, and even if you didn't have a great family, you can always change from that characteristic that you were raised with. You can't continually blame how you are at this stage in life by how you were raised. I mean, yeah, I know sometimes it's hard because we're all product of our environments, but you can change anything that you want to change. I mean, really, you can change it. And to go through this next journey that I have, to be able to be kind, to be happy, to look decent, to give you advice that I have is a blessing to me. And I'm glad that I'm where I'm at, and I can get through my everydays looking the best that I can, and changing some things that I want to change, I can do, and surround myself with people who love me and who care about me, because that makes me a better person. So I hope you enjoyed this journey. I had to think about a lot of things because I didn't really write anything down. So I appreciate Susie. I appreciate you, Pam, for watching and sitting around. I so enjoyed your company today, and I hope you enjoyed my journey. And remember, I love you. Please subscribe to my channel and help me grow. We're going on to 3,000. I'm hoping I've got another good giveaway. I love you all, and I couldn't do this without you. So I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you guys. See you again real soon. We're going to do my workhorse video real soon, and then you'll see some of the products that I have used for probably 30 years of my 65 continually. So you'll enjoy that. I love you guys. See you soon. Bye.